Good day and welcome to this video in our Python for Beginners series. Today we will be looking at the elements of programs such as naming conventions, Now that we know something about the programming process from previous videos, we are almost ready to start writing our own programs. However, before doing that, we need a more complete grounding in the fundamentals of Python. In this video, we will discuss some more technical details that are essential to writing correct programs. This might seem a bit tedious, but it is important to master these basics before plunging into more interesting waters. So let's jump ahead. First, we're going to be looking at names. Now we name various things in Python. Firstly, we name modules. These are the names of our Python files or programs. We've seen an example of this such as convert.py. We also name functions, and we've written our own function called main. We also name variables, and we've seen an example of this such as x and Celsius. Now these are called identifiers, and there are certain rules for identifiers in Python. Every identifier must begin with a letter or an underscore, which may then be followed by any sequence of letters, digits, or underscores. Now this implies that spaces are not allowed in an identifier. We can rather use underscores or camel case in those scenarios where using a space would seem appropriate. Some examples of legal names in Python are the following. And you see X, Celsius, spam, spam2, and then a capitalized S, spam, and eggs, or underscore, spam, underscore 2. These are just a few examples. And we can look also at some examples in the shell. So let's just jump over here. An illegal name would be one with spaces. So remember, we're going to try and define spam2 with a space, and I press, gets the value of 3. We press enter, and we see we get a syntax error, which is form. There's an error in our form over here, and it's highlighting for me 2. So if we should say spam without a space, spam2 gets the value of 3, and we press enter, we get no error. Okay. And we also need to be aware that identifiers in Python are case sensitive. So look at the following. Spam and spam with a capital S are different. And then spam with a capital P is different. And spam with all capitalized is different. They are all different from each other. And we can see an example of this again. If I say spam gets the value of spam, and I say spam gets the value of ham, and now I want to see the output. If I call spam, I will get spam, and the output, if I call all capitalized spam, is ham, because there are different identifiers. They are not the same thing in Python. Why? Because identifiers in Python are case sensitive. So we are free to choose any names that conform to these rules. But good programming will involve using conventions that conform to PEP 8. But for now, we're not going to go into details of PEP 8. We just need to ensure that we always try to choose names for our identifiers that describe the thing being named. That will be good programming practice for now. Now, another thing to note is that some identifiers are part of Python itself. These are called reserved words or keywords and cannot be used as ordinary identifiers. And I'll show you some examples of this. So in our editor or the shell, when we're typing identifiers and we happen to type one of these keywords, we will see the colors of it change. And I'll show you an example. If I type the word capital 4, it gets the value of 4, right? That is fine. But if I type small letters 4, we see the color change. Why? Because this is a reserved keyword for creating a loop for I in range 10. That's the heading of writing a loop. So we see this and this changed color as well as range. Now range is an inbuilt function, which is why it's also a different color to these keywords, and I'll get to that later. So let's just look at some of the keywords that we will encounter. We have used for, we have used def, we have used in, and we're going to use many more of these in the coming videos. So I hope you look forward to that. Now, I mentioned an inbuilt function or built-in function, which was called a range, which showed a different color to our keywords. We also encountered another built-in function, which is called print, and that also changed color. And I want to print out, let's print out the value for I and see what happens. Okay. Don't worry if you do not understand the mechanics of the loop right now. We will be covering loops in a later video. So Python also includes a number of these built-in functions, such as print and range, which we have seen. We should also be careful not to use these. Keywords and built-in functions will always be highlighted in a different color to our own identifiers by the editor we use. So when a clash of names occur, just change your own identifier by adding an underscore or a different capitalization, as you've seen in this example. We could not use for like that, but we could use for with the all caps. So, thank you for watching. In the next video, we will continue looking at the elements of programs by focusing on expressions. We will then do some practical programming exercises to apply what we've learned. See you in the next one.